Yo, what is up, my friends? It's your boy Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We're back with the best bets for the NBA here for you today on Tuesday, October 28, 2025. We got your NBA player props, spreads, totals, predictions. As always, 3 picks in the video. Let's lock in and get a sweep today in the NBA.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that Parlay now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you guys' support as always. Let's lock in and have a great day in the NBA today. Super excited to get after it and to hopefully, get us to a winning week this week and to have a great week of betting. Let's first start with a recap from yesterday. We ended up going 2-2, minus 0.25 units. Obviously not our best stuff. But we held serve, and sometimes that's all you got to do, and you move on to the next day. We cashed SGA over 11.5 rebounds and assists. I'll be honest, we were very fortunate to cash this one. He cashed this in the last minute of the game, and I felt very fortunate to cash that. And then we cashed Ja Morant under 1.5 threes. This was free. Once again, the under threes market has been insane this year so far for us, guys. I believe we're 6-1. Now to the under threes market, so it's been a very good market for us. Ja made 0 threes, so we'd love to see that. Pretty good one there. Felt good about that. The Pistons +3 on the spread might have been my worst spread call of the year. Well, it was. It was one of my worst spread calls ever. I mean, they got completely blown out there versus the Cavaliers. Played horrible last night. I don't know what went on there with Detroit. Should have had the advantage. They did not. Like I said, they just did not play well at all. And, like I said, it is what it is. But, yeah, like I said, 2-2 guys, minus 0.25 units. Some days are like that where we just got to hold, serve, survive. As long as we can avoid the really bad days and we can kind of set ourselves up for the good days where we can make some loot. I think today is going to be one of those days. I'm excited about it. It is a short NBA slate, just 3 games on the slate, or just 5 games on the slate. But, still a lot of opportunity here for us to make some money. As far as our comment cappers, we had Demetrius Smith calling the Warriors -3. Parlay with Steph Curry over 3.5 threes. That cashes. We'd love to see it, guys. And then we had Lit Picks calling Anthony Davis over 10.5 rebounds. That cashes as well. So great call-outs there from our comment cappers. Make sure you guys participate in that program. Drop your favorite play down below in the chat. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick. And if your pick hits in the chat, we'll include your pick in our next video. Like I said, if it hits, and a great way for you guys to get some recognition and also participate here at the channel. And that's the idea, right? For us all to get to the window together and to make some loot. So let's have a great NBA Tuesday, guys. Outside of that, one last thing, just check out the pinned comment description for any links you guys are looking for here around the channel in regards to membership, merchandise, social media links. That'll all be down below in the pinned comment and the description. Without further ado, guys, let's get after it, get into these picks. At number 1, we're going James Harden, under 2.5 threes here for the Los Angeles Clippers. We got +120 odds here on Fanatics. First of all, I love the value, right? A lot of these under and threes props, which we're 6-1 on so far to start the season, a lot of these have actually held plus value too as well, which I love that. So really like the spot for Harden to go under, though. He's playing the Warriors. And what did we do last night versus the Warriors? We took Ja Morant under and threes, the point guard for the Grizzlies. So looking at Harden again here, I think this is a great spot for Harden to go under. He's under in 2 or 3 games so far this season. He's under in 3 of his last 4 games versus the Warriors as well. So it's very much played out this way for James Harden to go under. We faded Ja Morant yesterday in this matchup. Like I said, he had 0 threes, which I love seeing that. And again, this is on the road, which is obviously it's tougher to make shots on the road than in your home gym. So Harden last year on the road, 57% to the under. So, obviously he had a little bit more trouble hitting his overs there on the road, which I like seeing that. Warriors, like we talked about yesterday, ranked 7th in 3-pointers allowed to point guard. So, like I said, it's a very tough matchup. They're a very good defensive team. They have a lot of good perimeter defenders. They can obviously give you trouble there at the 3-point line. And with Kawhi Leonard and Zubac on the floor last season, James Harden was 60% to the under, which is what we should have here tonight. Both these guys are not on the injury report as of now, so hopefully it remains that way. That's obviously very important. So the need for him to have to force up threes just isn't there when you got Kawhi Leonard on the floor and Zubac. There's a lot of other places you can go and look to. They actually have a lot of depth on their bench as well. So early on in the season especially, I don't look to see, many teams around the NBA playing their players heavy minutes. You don't have to do that here early on in the season. So this is a great spot here for Harden, guys, to hit his under tonight. Like I said, this has been a matchup. We might continue to, target this matchup here versus the Warriors and, fade point guards versus them on the threes line. Like I said, the threes line, our threes plays, our under threes plays have been so far on fire. 6-1 so far on the season. So let's continue that today. Love it there for number one pick. We got James Harden under 2.5 threes here for the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going plus 120 odds here on Fanatics. Okay, and at number 2, we got Alex Sarr, over 23.5 PRAs here for the Washington Wizards. We're going minus 102 odds here on FanDuel, risking a unit here. So we're going to try again here with Sarr. I know he let us down on the rebounds the other day, but he still actually hit his PRA over the other day, despite going under in rebounds. So we're going to take a stab at his PRAs here. I do like his volume when he's on the floor. I love his matchup tonight with the 76ers. Obviously, 76ers no Joel Embiid. So it's definitely a spot where Sarr could take advantage, like I said, of the vacancy there and be able to do some work in the paint. What I like is actually he is doing work in the paint this season. Over 70% of his shots are inside of 10 feet, which is what I like for this matchup. I'm not sure, last season he was shooting a lot more threes. He hasn't been doing that as much this year, which I actually like that. I don't want this guy to get there with threes, even though, if he makes threes, I'm not going to be mad at it, obviously. On a PRA line, I will happily take him, shooting and making threes. But it's a better matchup in the paint. And he's been more focused down in the paint, which I like seeing that. He's 7 feet tall. He absolutely should be. So, like I said, most of his shot volume has come in the paint, which we love to see that. And hopefully that continues here. I think it's a great spot and a great matchup here. Like I said, I think they're going to have a tough time defending him with Joel Embiid being out. So far, like I said, 3 for 3 this season to this line, which you got to love that. I think this is really a nice spot. The 76ers so far ranked 17th in PRAs allowed to centers. So overall, it's a pretty good matchup here for centers to be able to do some work. And the 76ers are on a back-to-back for what it's worth. Maybe a little extra tired there. Maybe we'll have an extra step on some of these guys, which is obviously, we would like to see that. Props.cash has a projection on Sarr of +3 to him cashing his line, so that's also very good. I like seeing stuff like that. Means they think he's going to go over as well. I thought about going with Edgecombe for this game for the 76ers. He was a guy I highly considered, but the problem is when you play against the Wizards, anybody can go off versus the Wizards because their defense is so bad holistically that it's hard to pinpoint one person to go over unless their lines are super juicy. But I didn't feel that way about Edgecombe. His lines was PRA line was 30.5, which he's been cashing. But like I said, you just don't know who's going to go off when you play against the Wizards. They're just bad all around defensively. So, love it there for number 2 pick, though, guys. We got Alex Sarr, over 23.5 PRAs here for the Washington Wizards. Minus 102 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and finally, at number 3, my friends, we are going with the Milwaukee Bucks money line here versus the New York Knicks. Get plus 105 odds here on DraftKings for the home team. I will gladly take some plus money here on the home Bucks. The Bucks so far have opened the season very well. They're 3-0 against the spread with a plus 4.2 differential. We just cashed with them the other day versus the Cavs. Loved seeing the grit that they showed on the road there in Cleveland. We're very much in that game and had an opportunity to win that game, which I like seeing that. Knicks so far 2-1 against the spread with a plus 1.3 differential, but we did see them just lose in Miami when they went out on the road. So I think there's a good chance that they're going to lose again here up in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a really sneaky good team, actually. People don't really think a lot about Milwaukee right now because Dame Lillard left, and now they're not as glamorous, I guess. But I tell you what, they're 11th in defensive rating, 9th in offensive rating. So this team right now on both sides of the ball is good. One of the key players that I've been looking at on this team, Ryan Rollins, playing really well on the perimeter. His defense is really good. Which he's going to need that today versus Jalen Brunson. And he's been a great hustle, and he's just been filling up the stat sheet so far. Last game he put up 8 assists. So I love seeing that. He's a guy that, doesn't demand a lot of shot volume. I think people's roles are really defined well on this team. Now Giannis could be the MVP of the team, and they got great role players go beside him. There's no confusion about, who's putting up the shots. It's going to be Giannis. But all the other players fill in those gaps nicely. Gary Trent Jr., Ryan Rollins, AJ Green. I love a lot of the pieces that they have. Miles Turner is a fantastic player as well. Fantastic role player. You don't have to worry about him demanding volume or anything like that. He's just a very solid all-around player. We saw it last year with Indiana. So I really like the way this Milwaukee team is constructed. It's like, so far what we've seen on the floor from Milwaukee has been very good. The Knicks, offensively, still look like they're kind of slouching a little bit here offensively to start the season. They're 23rd in offensive rating. And this is what happens, I think, when you get a lot of stars on one team. For the Knicks, you got Towns and Brunson on the same team. Even Mikal Bridges, honestly, who used to be a primary scorer there for the Nets. I think there's a little bit, you're just seeing something that's just a little off with the Knicks. Offensively, their defense is still pretty good. They rank 5th in defensive rating. But like I said, 23rd so far on offensive rating. I think overall, especially because we're getting the Bucks at home, I really like this Bucks team right now, guys, especially at home to get this done. Like I said, looking very solid on both sides of the ball. So, love it there for number 3 pick, guys. Going Milwaukee Bucks money line here versus the New York Knicks, plus 105 odds on DraftKings. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's lock in and have a great day in the NBA. Like I said, just 2-2 yesterday, but we're going to get that 3-0 sweep today, guys. Let's lock in and get it. Appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you guys all next time. Peace out.